Hey everybody, Stephen Michael Zach here from Ranger 7 Studios, and recently I found a great program that is going to make communicating your ideas with your DPs and your creative team a heck of a lot easier. I found this program called Pureref, and it is fantastic. Now, what this is it's basically a small program that acts like a canvas where you can drag and drop photos from the internet, and it just leaves it right on this canvas, and you can arrange them in any order you want. And it's just better than putting it in a file and having to go in the file and work with Photoshop and just to find your reference pictures. Now, one of the things I've been using this for is to do storyboarding and to kind of send reference pictures to my DP and to my creative team. Now, first off, I want to give a big shout out to the Blender Guru for putting this on his last video. If you're a CGI creator and you are working with Blender or anything like that, this is also a fantastic program for you to kind of slap your reference pictures on. And there's a buttload of options with this program. And if you're into making things with Blender, you should definitely go check out his channel, and I'll leave a link in the notes below. But first, let's go take a look at the website, and it is pretty darn good. If you go to the About page, you go down to the bottom, you will see a buttload of key shortcuts. This thing has a lot of options. I have not even delved into any of this yet, but there are some really fantastic options with this thing. So you're going to want to copy this, paste it, and print it out and keep it somewhere. So let's go ahead to one of my favorite sites, which is actually, let's go ahead and pull in a piece of the script first. And let's go in, and this is a script from that page from Man Eternal, which is a script I'm working on. And here it is. You just kind of click and drag from your files and hit Control Alt and the right mouse button and the left mouse button and kind of push up on it, and it shrinks your page to a very nice size. There we go. That's good. So now we have our script in here. What I did was I saved this as a PDF from Final Draft, brought it into Photoshop, and saved it as a JPEG or PNG. So you'll have to do that for each individual page of your script, which is a little bit of work, but it is totally worth it. So let's now go back to my favorite website, which is my favorite reference site, which is movies-screencaps.com. And I like this website because they do most of the film. I think actually they do every single frame of the film, which is pretty amazing, or at least a good chunk of the film. I know other sites just sometimes don't have the right shot that I'm looking for. But this site is really terrific, and they have a very large library that is just growing. So let's take a photo here from Terminator Genesis, and let's get this kind of San Francisco blowing up. And we'll drag this down, and we'll drop it, and there we go. Dragged it right from the internet. Control Alt, left mouse button, and shrink it up. Now this is cool because you can really work I like to work the same way Ryan Connolly of Film Riot works. I like to put the references right in my script. So you can either shrink this down and put it actually right on the script. So we have that, and let's go ahead back in here. And let's go ahead and find another picture. And let's say, Golden Gate Bridge is good. Toss in the Golden Gate Bridge, or you can add your reference here. But let's go with the kind of the storyboard reference kind of thing. And let's pull this down. That's about the right size. Hit it right on it. And there you go. You can put in all your storyboards right next to your script. Now, one thing, again, I wish this program had, and I really want to write to the creator of this program just to make some suggestions for like an update or a newer version. I would love a line tool so I could draw lines, and or a text tool so I can put like 1, 2, 3, and I can make notes in here. What I'll have to do is I'll have to pull this into Photoshop later and make some notes. But this still is an excellent program. I can do all my storyboards. Let's go ahead and grab like one more here. Let's go down here. Yeah, let's do guy in a plane, say. There we go. And you can really adjust the size of these any way you want. Also, this canvas is infinite. So far, I found this canvas is pretty infinite. So you can make this as big or as small as you want it. Also, the other thing, and I don't think I've mentioned it yet, is that when you open this program, this canvas here is going to come up where it comes up, and that's where it lives. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to grab it and move it because I use multiple screens. It's always going to be on your main screen. There's just no way to stretch it and move it. Actually, I tell a lie. What you'll have to do is go to the corners here, and you'll have to stretch it, and you'll have to kind of just pull it to the next screen. But we're not going to do that since we're recording in Camtasia on one screen. So there you go. And there you go. You've got your storyboard and everything ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is right-click, and you have massive amounts of options. But we're going to go down to the Save, and we're going to hit Export, and we're going to do Export Scene or Control E. So we'll call this Test 4. All right, so you're going to get this little box here, and I like to check background and borders. Otherwise, it just comes up as blank when you're going to open it in Photoshop. And this 3842 by 3557, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to mess with that. You can mess with the quality if you want, but just make sure backgrounds and borders is checked, and you click Export. And then we're going to go to our file here and open Test 4. And there it is. But let's open this in Photoshop. Boom. And there you go. There it is in Photoshop. And you can go 50%, or let's do 66%. And there you go. There is your script, and you can kind of move around on the canvas and see what you have. Now that you're in Photoshop, you can take your text tool, and you can write, you can bump this up to a high level and say shot 1. We're in blue, that's okay. Shot 1. There you go. Shot 1, destruction. And you can kind of move this over wherever you want and do lines and whatnot. So this is really what I'm using now what I'm going to be using now to kind of pass ideas and storyboards and things like that. Of course, when you're done with this, you can save this as a JPEG or a PNG. You do a whole bunch of these or one big sheet and just have them zoom in and out. But there you go. That is Pureref. I hope you found this helpful. This is, again, a great way to communicate with your DP, with your reference images, storyboards, whatever you got. So I'll leave the link to this in the notes below. And if you want to know when we make brand new videos, you can mash that bell button. Don't forget to like, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And that's it for me, and I will see you in the next video.